Enough, an original poem and spoken word by Zoe Dunning and Audra Hibbs, performed by Zoe Dunning. Why are you so needy? You grunted in frustration, your tone and volume approaching dangerous levels. Your energy was swirling around you, dark and chaotic, your brow clouded with an impending storm about to wreak havoc on me. I'm merely a weak sapling, whipped around by the relentless rain and violent winds, my thin branches stripped bare. I didn't have a good answer. None would satisfy you. Shame and panic stiffened me. My mind was a blank slate. Tabla rasa. My answer finally emerged, pulled and pried out of me by increasing insistence and crescendoing rage. What an inharmonious, deafening symphony. I turned my face down to my lap to blink away my shameful tears and forced myself to unfreeze. My voice was trembling as much as my frame. I'm just trying to be honest, I whispered. This earned me a fresh lecture, a tirade of what I've done wrong and why I am wrong, why I'm a liar, a narcissist, too sensitive. You were always hell-bent on teaching me the error of my ways and the corruption of my character. Why am I not enough for him? This thought stood out clearly as my mind melted away from my physical form. Your mouth carried on moving, and loud, angry words and sounds continued spewing out as you rummaged through my value and usefulness ruthlessly, picking and discarding bits of me as you saw fit. But I'm unseeing and unhearing now, defeated, ruminating. I'm not enough. If I was, I wouldn't be in trouble. I wouldn't be such a burden. I'm not enough. In fact, I'm too much. I'd experienced rejection too often and too young, constantly misunderstood, misjudged, and mistreated. I now found myself here, a hollow shell. You, a hammer delivering blows intended to break me open so I could pour out my secrets and self-worth. At some point along the way, I internalized the idea that all holy things are hard. Everything sacred must be paid for with suffering. Nothing is more virtuous than grinding one's fingers to the bone until death comes. I learned to resist ease, to be skeptical of joy, to disdain happiness, to fear pleasure, and to avoid rest. In my pursuit of love, this translated to, all holy relationships are hard. Every sacred love must be paid for with suffering. Any worthy, virtuous love required grinding my fingers to the bone until death comes. Death could come in the form of my heart ceasing to beat, the air stilling in my lungs. Or death could come swiftly with manic, cruel words that land a fatal blow. Death could come at the hand of the one I love the most, forcing me into their narrow, rigid box, and in their narrow, rigid ideas of what is acceptable about me and what is an acceptable way for me to love. In love, I learned to resist ease, to disdain happiness, to fear pleasure, and to avoid rest. I used to drag myself through hell for people, particularly for the chance at once-in-a-lifetime, soulmate, monogamous, romantic love. I now know that I can never allow myself to be similarly burned and betrayed again. I can and will be by the side of my loved ones as they traverse the mountains and valleys and hellfire of life. But I will never again cast myself into the lake of fire to earn their love and affection again. I reject elevating pain to a pedestal. I do not choose to postpone joy. I do not choose to believe that I am most valuable when I am most exhausted, that I am most lovable when I am most depleted, that I am most holy when I am least happy. I will not make a god of difficulty. I will experience pain when it comes, but I will not invite it into my bed to stay. I choose to lean all the way into delight on behalf of myself and on behalf of all whom I love. I will sit down at the table of joy and eat without apology. So as I sit there and take your verbal attacks and endure your emotional brutality, I take back the power. You aren't the sole author of this narrative. I swallow my fear and bite into my first taste of freedom and resolve to take up space. All the space that I have always occupied and deserve to. I'm sacred because I exist. I already approve me, and you will not have me. I will have my joy now.